Hi everybody, and welcome back to Life is a Magic Mom. This is going to be my video about the masterclass that I took today, which was titled The Path to Self-Awakening. And I don't know if any of you are familiar with the books called Conversations with God, but they were kind of a mind blower for me to stumble across today when I did this masterclass, because in a way it somehow summed up how I've been feeling about my spirituality for a really long time and put it into words that I was unable to do for myself. And the author of this masterclass was Neale Donald Walsch, and he is quite the evolved individual, and maybe someday I hope I have a chance to shake his hand and let him know that I too am one of the many whose complete views were changed by what he wrote. And to kind of sum up what this masterclass was about, it was just about giving a different road to religious prospects. And a lot of us really haven't felt home in church for a long time, and we were looking for something else, and instead we stepped out of that spirituality and looked for it in other ways. And a lot of people misjudge the fact that because I practice what some people would call witchcraft, which is actually just a form of herbalism with some Catholic ritual thrown in, is really kind of mind-boggling to me that in this day and age people are still so close-minded. And it kind of brought me back to what my purpose was in doing these videos. And that's kind of why I decided to do this one today instead of jumping right into the next 2-week quest. And I'm glad I did. So this is the gentleman that I'm talking about. Okay, I'll see if I can turn this a little bit. This is the masterclass I took today, and I do these through a company called Mind Valley Academy, and they are by my other favorite author who I ran across a couple years ago when he released his book, The Code of the Extraordinary Mind. Now, when I came across this book, I had just lost my mom, and I was having a really hard time with that, and I didn't really know how to deal with it. And it gave me something to focus on doing these master classes, and in a way, I was just furthering my own self-evolvement. This is the book, and this is his name. His name is Vishen Lakhiani, and I'm probably not pronouncing that right, and if I'm not, I'm sorry. But he's been quite a mind blower for me too, and he is the author of the masterclass that I'm doing next, or the quest that I'm doing next. And it is actually the class that goes with this book in particular, and it is called Extraordinary by Design. So it is about manifesting the life that you want with what you have, and then building on it to make it more. I think that's a lot of what we're all trying to do right now, is make something more, and it's just finding the right way to do that is the key. So in the masterclass today, it asks us a lot of questions to really answer for ourselves. And in a way, I can't really give you everything that I got out of this without you actually hearing him speak. But it's really about putting yourself in the position of other people in all of our interactions and realizing that the things we encounter in our daily life really are reflections of aspects of ourselves that we need to either focus on and give more love to, or we need to break the habit of. Okay, so before this, they had us do an exercise asking us what our intentions were as far as this class went. And my intentions as far as this class were to, before I really realized what this was about, which is kind of funny, were to be more organized, to attain a higher level of fulfillment in my life, to regain more freedom, and to be a better speaker and motivator. And and then it had you go through and rate 1 to 10, or on a scale of 1 to 10, a bunch of different things in your life. And assess what your beliefs, or where your beliefs stand as far as this goes, okay? And for a lot of these, I'm above where I thought I was, or I'm right where I think I should be as far as that goes, as far as the self-assessment goes. I know the areas I need to work on, and I know the areas that I need to put more of my attention on, instead of just focusing on the things that I want to change. But I need to focus more on the things that I want to evolve further. So on the path to that, it went through telling how he literally went from losing everything in couch surfing to almost getting this download of information after writing a super angry letter to God about why all of these things were happening to him, and if he could just get the answers, that he was a plan or something that he needed to do, then he would do it. And he was saying how he just felt this sense of peace, and then started hearing this voice. Now, whether it was the voice of God, who he calls she, or whether it was the voice of his higher self, it matters not. The source is the source. We're all part of the same thing. And that's kind of part of what this awakening process is trying to achieve more of, is us realizing our own divinity in ourselves, and that we don't have to look outside of us in order to find that. So his purpose in this, writing these books, Conversations with God, and doing this Path to Self-Awakening class, were to help change the world's mind about what God is and what it really represents in our daily life. Also, to give people back to themselves instead of feeling like there's something that they have to fight for outside of them. It's not. It's all in here. And it's also to help further awaken our species of human as a whole, which is kind of what my goal here is too. To help men and women, realize that we all have a purpose here, and sometimes it's just being the example of love that you want the world to see more of. And it's about making good choices in all parts of our life, no matter how hard it is. We have to start taking responsibility and stop blaming everybody else for the way that things turn out. Because our lives are what we create. Because it's how we are further evolving our souls to be better. So the second part was about how there are highly evolved beings all around us all the time to help us assist in this shift to a higher level. Because essentially, we as a species of human are leveling up. And whether people want to be stuck in the old dogma or are excited to be joining this process as well, it's still work and it's still hard. And there's still some days where you just want to throw in the towel and go, I cannot do this another day. But it's about being able to get up and do it again, no matter what life is asking of you. Because we all have our things. So part of this is also about eliminating fear in our life. Because where there's fear, it eventually dissolves into violence. And there's no reason for that in our lives anymore. We're trying to evolve out of that as humans. So in the reflection part of this, or here is my point. Okay, so I'm not trying to say that religions are wrong or that they're in any way harmful. I'm just saying that we've come to a point in time where we can start to absorb more of the information because we're in a state of mind that is more accepting of that information. And that information is just that the information we have from our religions right now is incomplete. And maybe it was because we weren't ready, or maybe it was just because people felt they needed to control it. But we've reached a point now where we can really step into that power and go, yeah, this isn't up to someone else that's going to be judging me after my life is over. It's about how I'm judging myself now. And how I'm being a better example for the people who are watching me. Because we're all being watched. In some way or another. I'm just putting this out here so that you guys all know you're not the only one. You're not. You're not the only one. And you just need to know that you're safe and loved and protected. And as long as you continue to make good choices based on love and not fear, the things that you need in your life will be brought to you. And it won't be such a struggle. You just have to listen to yourself. And here you already know the answers. You just have to listen. So as always, thank you for watching me and my journey. And from all of us here at Life is a Magic Mom, we love you. And I'll see you tomorrow for the first day of Extraordinary by Design, where I am really going to be dumping it all out in the open. But it is what it is. I love you. Be well.